Check, check. Is the mic on? The mic is on. The mic is on. What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of The High Depth Perspective, a podcast where we embark on the transformative odyssey of healing, spiritual awakenings, and expanding consciousness. My name is Debonair, and welcome to episode 2. Okay, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Y'all, I don't know. This past week was a week. It was an experience. I received a lot of ascension symptoms this week. As far as, bitch, I was fatigued like a motherfucker. I didn't lose. Let me take that back. Cancel, Clay, delete. I was up. Excuse me. I was basically up until 8 o'clock in the morning every night, and then going to bed at like a smooth, I don't know. At the end of the day, it was wonky. You know, my degular pattern on a smooth, calm, cool, collected night. I'm in bed by 1 o'clock. I'm up at 9. Okay? I'm up at 9. I'm getting my day started in some more shit. Bitch, no, that is not what happened at all this week. I found myself going to bed at like 8 o'clock in the morning, waking up at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I had no appetite. You know what I'm saying? A bitch fasted 48 hours naturally, which was fine. You know, a figure is a figure, you know, and a bitch is out here trying to watch that. But it was one of those things where I was just like, here we go. And don't get me wrong, I like when let me rephrase that. I don't mind the ascension symptoms as long as they're at, within a 24 to 48 hour span. But when you're giving me a full week and I've got things to do, then it becomes a little bit of a problem. But it's like I can't really do anything other than just like embrace the journey. So, of course, I didn't fight it, but I was definitely writing everything down like, damn, this is a next level one, and of course, with the planets leaving one planet and entering in another, I was assuming that this is the cause of what I was experiencing. So, which we'll talk about that later on. Yeah, as far as, aside from the ascension symptoms, my week was very, very, very interesting. My workload increased. Keep in mind, this is something that I asked for. I've definitely manifested, just having more of a productive workflow as far as, creativity and balancing out, my masculine and feminine energies. Well, I found as though that I was tapped into my masculine energy for the week. And me tapping into my masculine energy, I was doing more so logistics, if you will. I was at the computer, hours at a time, working on editing. And, now that I've started this podcast, I have created, more work for myself, which again, I am very, very grateful. This is what I manifested. This is what I asked for. This is what I received. I do remember, having a channeled message. So one thing about me is I have a mind's eye. I have the ability to see things, excuse me, confirmation. I have the ability to see things in the future, but I have no idea how to get there. So what I saw for me was, prepare in the beginning of the year. This is the channel message that I got for myself. Prepare in the beginning of the year that you are going to start getting busy and things are going to hit they're going to make a turn where it's going to be like, you're not going to be able to juggle, work and social life. So you're going to have to figure it out now, which is why I kept getting earlier too back then when I got that channel message. Embrace what you have now. Love what you have now. Embrace the time that you're experiencing because, bitch, 2024 is yours. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. So I do remember when the new year hit, you know, I'm an antsy bitch. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's January 1st. Shit's about to go down now in my life. Okay, so what's going to happen? You know, I'm just sitting here kind of, you know, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the next situation to occur. Bitch, it was me that I had to make the situation to occur. So as I was diving in, checking into and making this podcast from paper into reality, you know, a vision into reality, that's when I started to experience that my workflow was slightly different. And when I say I was in my masculine, at the end of the day, I like to operate off of a healthy medium. There has to be a smooth balance between my masculine and my feminine energy. So when it comes to my mask, you know, like I said, I was at this computer, I was working, I was getting things done diligently, you know, crossing my T's and dotting my I's. I like that. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like doing that all of the time. I'm more so because I am a divine feminine. I tend to tap more into my creative side, you know, and the flow of that. And because I had just finished my episode, I was at the computer editing it, uploading it, you know, and some more shit. And like, you know, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul when it comes to doing a podcast and some more shit, as far as like the editing and making sure that everything is set in stone with captions, and there's a lot that goes into it, you know, and I'm learning in real time. Once again, I am extremely grateful. I am extremely thankful for this opportunity. It's just new. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's just new as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you know, in my mind, I thought it was gonna be, you know, Kathy Hilton, hunky dory, but it's not. There's a lot of work that's involved with this. And so I found myself doing so much of this and understanding the logistics of what makes a podcast and understanding its ins and outs, that I wasn't in a space where I was able to tap into my feminine energy. And so what I ended up doing was, it was Thursday of last week, I had received a channeled message after I had everything complete. Everything was just done. I got the channel message that said, hey, Debonair, for the excuse me, for the next 48 hours, I do not want you to pick up this computer. I want you to express yourself and not repress yourself. Whatever that looks like, just do it. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to, excuse me. All right, let me try this again. What you're not going to do is you're not going to pick up this computer. Do you understand me? And this is my higher self telling me. And I said, all right, yeah, I got you. You know, this is going to be hard because, you know, that week prior, I was learning, like I said, the logistics of everything. I was learning everything. So I was in a space of just like, I just want to keep learning. I was called by my higher self to not do that, and in which I did. So I did put the computer down over the weekend. I cleaned my house. I mopped my floors. I put clothes away that had been sitting here for days. I turned on some music. I danced on my couch, bought one of these little astronaut LED night lights that I got off the TikTok shop, and I basically made a club in my living room, and I was in VIP, and me standing on the couch was me in the VIP section with my bottle, aka my green tea, and I tapped into, I guess, somewhat of my inner child. It was fun. It was super fun. I did some self-care. I did my skincare routine. I caught up on some of my favorite shows, which was really, really nice. It was one of those things where, like, yeah, I was in a space where I finally got to tap more into my creative side, because, you know, that's the side that allows me to play. That's the side that actually allows me to create downloads. You know, I don't get downloads from just working at a computer all day. If I do get a download from the computer, it's telling me to get off the motherfucker. So but it was super, 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 super nice. And I was really thankful for this opportunity for my higher self to tell me to sit my ass down and like get back into creative workflow, get back into that flow of pureness, if you will. So I ended the weekend with, like I said, I was watching some of my shows. I ended up popping an edible on Friday, and I ended up watching a master's class with Jay Shetty, which was ironic because the actual episode that Jay Shetty has on the master class was navigating change. And I was just like, of course, of course. So I'm in divine timing. I'm in alignment. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. And here I am with Jay Shetty, and I'm experiencing my change, and he's talking about navigating change. So these are the things that I always say that happen to me on a regular, and I can't make it up. At this point, I'm just very, very grateful because I am in that space of surrender and allowing these things to just kind of flow through me, if you will. But I wanted to highlight a little bit of what they talked about on Jay Shetty's masterclass. He was interviewing this award-winning behavior scientist, Dr. Katie Milkman, and they were talking about identifying barriers and tailoring them to someone's self. And the irony of this was, for me, I was in a space of what I was experiencing through the week. I was just like, okay, so this is a really interesting workflow that I'm adding to what I already have going on in my life. Like I said, that Thursday when I got that download, it was me basically telling myself to check in with myself and be like, hey, you do know you are experiencing an adjustment with what you've got going on as far as your workflow. Give yourself this moment to let go. Like I said, express yourself a little bit, and then come back to it where you're finally in a space of balance, because you've been in a space where you finally got an opportunity to check in with your feminine energy. And so that's exactly what I did. And so prior to me watching the actual episode, I had sat with myself and I said, okay, I am experiencing that, my workflow is changing once again. I'm very grateful. This is exactly what I asked for. Now, this is the time for me to kind of adjust what I've got going on so I can embed my new workflow with my new schedule. And when I was watching, the Jay Shetty masterclass, they were talking about, like I said, identifying the barriers and tailoring them to you. They highlighted on what they call the fresh start moments, and basically what that is it's an encouragement of change in a successful manner, such as, when you have a birthday, you have this idea, I want to lose all this weight when I turn this birthday, or the New Year's is coming up and my new resolution is going to be to do X, Y, and Z. Those are fresh starts. The spiritual world, we have the ritual cleansing, egg cleansing, Palo Santo, sage, the bath cleanses. There's a plethora of things that we do here in the spiritual community that are part of, the ancient practices. I say all that to say it was just really nice because I found that after I did my ritual consisted of, the whole dancing and some more shit, because that really does allow me to tap into like creativity. And that's where I get a lot of my downloads from, like dancing and just being more expressive. That's where I get my downloads from. I don't get them from sitting at a computer. But I say that to say, as an end result, I basically had a conversation with myself after everything was all said and done. Like, hey, okay, cool. So you're experiencing a change in your life. What you need to be doing so you can still have that healthy balance of masculine and feminine energy is to go ahead and just kind of reprioritize what your new life is going to look like. And so I say retailor. And that's how they were talking about, just tailoring your lifestyle that works for you. And what I'm realizing is, you guys we can go on YouTube and we can look at how people's lives are working and some more shit, right? But like, you want to try it. And let's say you do it, but it don't work out. Well, here's the reason why it doesn't work out. It works out because it's tailored for them. So now I say that to say I was in a space where now I have to retailor my workflow differently because I've now added something to this workflow. And so it was just nice to have a reassurance that this is something that is an ongoing journey when it comes to self-loving and healing, and making yourself a priority, especially when new things come about in your life, and keeping a healthy balance, and always remembering and remaining that, I come first. And that, moving on to our next topic, I want to talk about the power of the P. Pluto is now in Aquarius. What the fuck? I know, right? This is some next level shit. Let me see here, because I got to get my notes, because I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Because when it comes to like the astrology side of, the spiritual journey, I'm not as advanced, but I'm learning. I'm working and I'm learning. So let me just make sure I have everything correct. Pluto is now divorcing Capricorn and now courting Aquarius. After a 15-year toxic situation, Pluto has now ended its relationship with Capricorn and has been spotted holding hands with Aquarius. For those who don't know about Pluto, Pluto is a planet of transportation. Pluto is the planet of transformation, ego death, and rebirth. This shift of energy will make a major toll on society and how we see ourselves moving forward. And if anybody is a cardinal sign, and the cardinal signs consist of Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, and Libra placements, this will end a 15-year streak of a karmic cycle and allow for you to enter a more prosperous timeline as long as the momentum is being put in. And following the cardinal signs will be the Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus placements trailing along. Let's just unpack this for a second. If you have these placements with the cardinal sign that I mentioned, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, Libra placement, what you've experienced from 2008 moving forward will be a thing of the past. You are now entering a shift of rebirth. And the reason why I know this is because I'm a Cancer and I'm experiencing this as we speak. There's this period of rebirth, but what I highly, highly recommend, especially coming from being a Cancer in this transformation period, I highly and I strongly encourage, and this goes for every other sign too, I strongly encourage that you are putting in some momentum and doing some kind of work that is bettering yourself, healing yourself, allowing yourself to put yourself first, and pouring into your cup. I can't stress this enough. This is going to be this time, 2024, and for the next 20 years, this is going to be, and I'm getting a channel message right now. Hold on. I'm hearing innovation, lots of creativity, and a lot of science. I hear science, basically a lot of technology being created. This is a time where a lot of, what we've been seeing on these shows, this is the channel message that I'm getting. A lot of the shit that we're seeing on these shows, as far as like the futuristic shit, is now. We're entering that first stage of it. So, which is why you're noticing that AI is damn near starting to take over jobs and some more shit. Technology is being advanced to next levels. You don't want to be behind when this shit starts to hit the fan. Honestly. And I encourage you to reevaluate areas in your life. And this is also another thing that they mention when it comes to this whole shift. There's going to be a lot of career changes, past trauma coming up to the surface. That's something that I'm still dealing with and that I've dealt with over the past year and a half or so. Reevaluating your long-term goals. The government's going to continue to crumble. That's a no-brainer. And then just like a heightened sense of creativity, which is what I was talking about. So this is going to be a time where people are going to start realizing, damn, I kind of wasted a certain amount of time in my life go away, and I didn't really put any effort into what I really like doing and what I really enjoy doing. So like for those who like to paint, this is a perfect opportunity to pick up that paintbrush and bitch, be the next Picasso. So here's another thing. Please understand that just because it sounds like it's going to be a walk in the park, no, this is more so like playing with fire. Pluto is a planet that does shed out the old and welcomes in the new. And what I'm realizing with this Pluto planet is that literally it has let go of so many past versions of myself and allowed me to be in a space to do what I'm doing now, which is expressing. just expressing how I feel and being authentically, present. I was not this person before. Like I said, I'm an actor, but I used to like to just hide behind the script. Whereas now I'm realizing that in order for me to even be this actor, I had to know who the fuck I was, because now I'm in a space of knowing who I am. When I'm now presented a script, it comes off so much easier. Before, I was just in my head and I'm beating myself up over it. No, now I'm just in a space of play, and I'm encouraging that people tap into whatever it is that allows them to be creative, happy, tap into their inner child, any of these things that they've been hindering and suppressing. I think this is a perfect place and a perfect time and a perfect year to bring them bitches back up to the forefront and do what you need to do to keep yourself afloat and keep yourself happy. Lastly, what I want to say when it comes to Pluto now entering in Aquarius, like I said, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. So there is going to be a lot of shifts that are going to play. Relationships will be affected. Friendships could possibly be affected. You're going to be doing what they call kind of like a full 360 transformation of your life. So sit with yourself in these moments and just kind of evaluate what areas that you do want to work on. This is also a strong time to practice implementing groundwork. And one of the things that typically work for me is meditation. I usually do 10 minutes during the day, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and then sometimes 10 minutes at night before I go to bed. But at the end of the day, because I'm so connected with the universe and everything that they've got going on, I've got my head in the clouds, but I've got my feet on the ground. So it's one of those things as far as me making sure that I'm grounded in these moments is going to definitely keep me balanced with this shift in energy that we were about to enter. So if you haven't done so now, I strongly encourage whatever it is that's going to make you balance and keep you grounded. Now is the time to do so. Okay, y'all, before we go, we have questions. Like, what the fuck? I'm super excited. So we have 2 questions that came in from the last episode, and I wanted to just read them here on the air. So the first question comes from Lisa from Philadelphia. Hi, Dev. Where did that name come about? How did you get the name Hi Dev for the show? Okay, so that's a really good question. The Hi Dev perspective, as I've been going through this journey, I have created a channel with not only this 3D vessel, but within the 5D and all these other channels up above. Because I realized this person that was these messages that I was receiving, they were coming from a higher place. Some of the things that I was channeling, I would have never known that I could even think that or say that. So I curated a name for this channel. I named him HD, which is Higher Debonair. That's how the name came about. When I am in this chair, I'm operating from not only my 3D vessel, but I'm operating from High Dev, my higher self. That's how I came about with this name. Okay, so the second question comes from Malik from Atlanta. Bitch, we in Philly and Atlanta now? Okay, I'm here for all this. Okay. Malik says, you mentioned that you're in this relationship and you basically realized that it was a time of your life, but you also mentioned that it ended shortly. Are you able to explain why it was short-lived? Yeah, I am actually. So when I was in that particular relationship, first off, it wasn't a relationship. We were dating for 3 months. It was short-lived because, to be quite honest, I wasn't in a space to deserve that kind of a partner. And here's why. When I walked into that relationship, cancel, clear, delete. When I walked into, that dating experience, I was still codependent. I was a people pleaser at the time. This was back in 2017, 2018. I was people pleasing at that time. I remember, because it was so good to be true, and I worked on becoming as perfect as possible and not making sure that I did anything wrong to fuck this relationship, or let's just say relationship at this point, to fuck this relationship up. That is not the way that I should be walking into relationships. And I'm knowing that now. That's why I say that it was short-lived. I ended up calling it off. I used to think that it was him. It was me. It was me and the fact, my lack of growth that I had when I walked into this relationship, my lack of self-worthiness that I had in this relationship. I was operating from an unhealed place. So it became too much for me. And, like I said, I ended the relationship. But now, as an end result of it, this person and I really actually were really good friends. And I wish him nothing but the best. And that experience was such an eye-opening thing. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. I genuinely believe that everything happens for a reason. He was put in my life because, like I said, I had never dated. This was my official first time dating a man. And this was the man that was, presented to me. Literally just, it was amazing, However, I was not in a space to receive it fully. And I take full ownership over that. And I've learned so much from that relationship. That is the reason why it was short-lived. Now I'm in a space where when I do walk into these relationships, I'm not walking into these relationships with a sense of codependency. I'm very much so pouring into my cup. And one of the biggest things that I've actually always said was this: when I do get into the next relationship, I don't want to be the priority in his life. I want him to be a priority in his life. And then I come second, as I'm going to do the same for me. I'm dating myself first, and then I'll be dating you. I want this to be reciprocated. I want you to be dating you first and then put me second. And that's just a way for us to not lose ourselves within the relationship, because that's something that I've had, that's been a pattern of mine, and I'm breaking that. We're not doing that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that, because I'm in this space now where I'm loving myself so much. I refuse to lose this. I refuse to lose the love that I have for myself when I enter into a new relationship. So that's the reason why it ended. It was short-lived. So that's going to wrap up today's episode on balance and the power of the P. I'm sorry. HD created that name. That has nothing to do with me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider subscribing or following me on your favorite podcast platform. I am now available on Apple Music and Spotify. And if you really loved it, please leave me a review. It helps me reach more listeners like you. Please follow me on social media, and my handle is at the High Dev Perspective, and that is now on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And please let me know your thoughts on today's episode. Lastly, if you have a topic that you want me to cover, or you have a question that you want me to answer, like Mr. Malik and who else was there? Lisa from Philly or whatever, hit me up. Shoot me an email at thehighdev@gmail.com, and I might feature your question on an upcoming episode. So yeah, that's it, y'all. And thank you so much for being part of the High Dev Perspective. Your support means the world to me. And like I said, tune in next week. I will see you then. Okay. Bye.